Okay, this is the new Wet n Wild 40 palette that they came out with for their 40-year anniversary. I'm going to start off doing some swatches before I do an actual look with it. And I'm going from the top row left to right and just working my way down. And this whole top row pretty much matches my skin tone until I get towards the end. And then my lights just don't like to, it didn't like to pick it up, I guess. I don't know. It was being whack. But in person they swatched pretty well, but you know, swatching doesn't always mean it's gonna perform well on your eyes, but I've used it for about 3 or 4 looks now after I filmed this, and it hasn't given me any problems, so I like it. And then I wiped my arm off whenever I finished a row with a makeup wipe and let it dry, so it wasn't really affecting anything, and I wiped my fingers off in between, and whenever they would, get all covered in shadow. And you can see the second one, like you can't see it because it's just my skin tone but shiny pretty much. And I mean the shimmer swatched like you would expect a shimmer to swatch really good. And the mattes, they were, I don't know. I don't have anything bad to say about how they swatched. Like especially the dark color at the top, you can see how like pigmented it was, I guess. And same with that light color, like my wrist is like the lightest part of me and you can still see the difference. I don't know. But there's some where they're like not as pigmented as others, but they still like don't not have pigment, you know? And that one matches my skin too. Only like the bottom 2 rows pretty much don't match my skin tone. Other than like the warmer tones, but the first two, a lot of them kind of just match. And that black is really good, and it blends out so like nicely, and it's not hard to blend out either. Same with that yellow, and it builds up, or like even on the eyes, it's super pigmented. I've used the yellow and the black in a green shade, and I think it was the green shade I just swatched in a look that I posted on my Instagram the other day, and like the black just blends out so nicely, and I've never had a black blend that nice for me before. I've never had a yellow build up as easily as this one built up. Or like it just you never really see them on my skin, I guess, because I'm so light. But that when you can, it's weird, and I'm happy about it. Also, this palette is only on their website, and it is $20. But then add shipping is about $25, $26. So it's not bad for a palette with 40 shades that are not bad. And this is the last row. And this one has more of the greens and blues and purples. And the last pink I went over one like another time with the swatch, just because I felt like it needed it. But the first one, it's not bad. I started off with it in the video. There we go. Using the pink shade. And this is the one I had to go over again. And it builds up well on my eyes. Just the swatch was kind of weird. Like I said, they don't, just because they swatch well doesn't mean that they are going to perform good on the eyes, or if they swatch bad, they might be good on the eyes. You can't just base off of swatches all the time. But it built up nicely. I liked it. I also didn't have very much fallout, if any. So I'm taking the purple shade right next to it on a smaller, fluffier brush and keeping it deeper in my crease to just kind of deepen it up, define the crease a bit more. And then blending it out with the first brush I used. And then I'm taking this kind of purpley maroon shade. It's more on the purple side than red, but it's kind of a, you saw. And I'm taking it on a flat, somewhat dense brush and keeping it as deep in my crease as possible. And kind of winging it out to give me that subtle angle right there, because I don't want it too like harsh, I guess. And then blending it out with the first brush I used again. Then I'm taking my concealer I used on my face and making a half cut crease shape, so carving out my lid. I'm using a e.l.f. concealer brush for this. The name of it is Concealer Brush, and it is tiny and the best thing I've ever used to do this and any other cut crease. And then I'm taking this metallic kind of purpley shade and packing it all over where I put the concealer, and I ended up spraying my brush and doing it like that too, just to make it more intense. And then I'm taking the same shades that I used in my crease in the same order, so starting with the pink, then purple, then darker purple, and building it up on the outer third, outer V, whatever you want to call it. And then, you know, I blend as I go, all that, kind of just, not pack it on, but build it up as I go rather than putting a crap ton on, then blending it out, because I feel like that's too hard for me. And then I took the black shade on a flat brush and ran it across my lower lash line. And then blended it out with the two darkest shades I used. I also added some black on my outer corner and blended it out a bit. But for some reason that got cut out. And so right here I'm just doing a decent sized wing with the NYX liquid liner. And I figured I'd just speed through it but keep it in. So I stayed in frame this time, so I don't have to cut it out. I have to keep my wings relatively thin, otherwise it looks weird because I have like that weird hooded eye shape, but it's not super hooded, it's like only half hooded. So if I have my wing too thick, it just kind of like, you can't see any of my shadow at all. So taking this Wet n Wild loose highlighter, putting on my inner corner and brow bone. Forgot what that was for a minute. And then I'm taking the Maybelline Jelly highlighter and putting that down as a base before I put the Wet n Wild one on first. And this jelly highlighter you can actually put on top of powdered foundation. So like if you already set your foundation, you can put this on top and it won't move it around or stick or anything. It still blends out nicely. I love it. And it's like the perfect gold tone shade for me because I'm so pale, so I can't use a lot of gold tone stuff. And so now I'm just taking Baby Bat Beauty in liquid lipstick in the shade Raven, applying that. And I stayed in frame the whole time this time, and I'm proud of myself for that. And so I forgot to take actual shots like how I've been taking them of the finished look, so I inserted a picture instead. And after this is the final look. Oh yeah, I threw on mascara and lashes, but you can see that. So yeah, after that, that's the final look. Please follow all my social media, so really just my Instagram and Twitter. And subscribe to this channel, and there will be more videos to come, and this palette gets a 10 out of 10 rating for me, and I'm probably going to use it for a long time, until I get a new one probably, which won't be for a while.